original plan for this presentation was that it should be a split presentation between me from Alcatel-Lucent and the Arbor. But let's say because of the happy family occasion or happening on this oldest family, he is not here today. So I try to cover this whole presentation. So you need to bear with me with this, let's say, Arbor part of this presentation. I try to go it through, but my knowledge of that area is not that strong. So bear with me with that one. And the later part will be about the Alcatel-Lucent and this cooperation with Arbor. So that should be at least the good part, I hope. So welcome. I do see a lot of familiar faces here in this room, but there's also a lot of which I don't know. But my name anyway is Hannu Ahola, and I'm working in Alcatel-Lucent Suomi Oy, so in Finland. Our office is based in Vantaa, but because most likely anyone from abroad doesn't know where Vantaa is, it's the next city from Helsinki. So that's where I'm located. This slide set is actually from our yearly event called SR Experts, and this year it was kept in Warsaw. So this is the slide set from there, or the subset. I probably had too many slides anyway, so other speakers managed to give their timeline, so maybe I'm the first one not to give it. We'll see. I can skip some of the slides here. So the agenda. It's going to be a short intro. I will skip most of that because you know how internet behaves and what components we need in the internet to keep it going. And you also know that the security threats from the internet are a growing factor. But it's not only that the internet, like we saw the cloud there, that internet is the only part of the game. It's also that those attacks, they are actually originating from somewhere, and that somewhere is usually some operator's network. So it's actually a game which is going both ways. You have to protect from the internet, but you also have to think about that, how you actually prevent the attack originating from your network. So it's a two-way game. So the first part is to present a bit about Arbor, and then how we actually integrate with the Arbor technology in our boxes. And then there's the use cases and deployment models, but most likely I'm going to skip those if the time might say so. And some conclusions. So you know, everything is today in the internet, and whatever you do shopping, you buy sneakers, you probably go first to the internet and look some websites that you first gather the information, and at the end you are going to buy them from there, most likely. So everything is going to the internet, and we see what it means. So we see here the traffic growth. Traffic is going high. A lot of the transaction is happening in the internet, so I mean, things are getting bigger in the internet, so the threats and the attacks what we are seeing in the internet, they will have the bigger impact. So that's how it works. But it also gives, let's say, the more motivation for the people to actually start attacking against the services what we have the internet. So we have seen some political reasoning or motivation behind the attack. I guess let's say the most familiar what happened in Estonia after these statues, that what happened there. So they got nearly paralyzed in Estonia because all the internet infra was teared down because of the attack. So things are changing, but also I mean the network are getting better and faster. So it also gives the better tools for let's say those bad people who actually want to launch the attack. It gives the better tools to do that. So we see at least three aspects here. So we first see the increase in volumes in attacks. So according to this is from the Arbor side, so they have given this statistic. So the latest and the biggest volume attack was actually the 100 gigabits per second attack. So it started to be quite a lot of traffic. The attacks are also getting quite complex. So it's not anymore that you can block like the IP address or something like that. They are going more on the application level. So you need to be a more granular what you are actually trying to prevent. And the frequency is getting higher as well. So like in this chart, we see that the let's say more than 50% of the data center owners are seeing the really frequent the attacks against the infrastructure. So basically, I mean, this is just a simplification of the attack. So basically, the volumic attack tries to paralyze your infrastructure. So at some point, you have a congestion point that just cannot handle anymore the traffic, or you do this more intelligent attacks and you start attacking the application layer. Those are the main ones, of course. So I mean, because this is happening as a vendor, it's a well, they should say good thing to happen, but it also opens the possibilities to get some revenues. And this is like the survey to enterprises, that what are the attributes, what they are actually looking for and asking when they are buying the let's say the cloud services, for example. So we clearly see that the security issues are the most important one today, what they are asking. Of course, cost is coming, and etc. etc. So if we take a look of this attacks which are based on volumes, and how we see it is the best place actually to prevent that kind of attacks are in ISP infra, because that's anyway the place which is aggregating the big pipes from the internet, and is shrinking the bandwidth towards the end customer. So the bottleneck is going to be here anyway, if it's the volume attack. So it's also the best place to prevent that happening. So why Arbor? Okay, it should be this Arbor guy saying good things about the Arbor, but I try to do that. My understanding, at least, is that the Arbor is, let's say, that very advanced on building the security systems for the ISPs. I don't know if my understanding is correct, but apparently among the big operators, their market share is like 70-80%. So they are really good on that. So they have this PEAKFLOW service provider solution, which is widely used, and it's well recognized. So and it looks like this. So it's basically a set of 3 different parts, and the first part is the collector part. So you set up this PEAKFLOW collector in ISP network, and you are actually using the flow data from your ISP infra to detect the attack in your network or from the internet. The second part of this Arbor solution is this threat management system, TMS, and it's, well, in this picture it's the appliances or the box what you put in the network, which you can actually do let's say the dirty work in the network. So first you detect the attack by using this flow information, and then you use this TMS to actually clean the traffic, or whatever measures you have to take to get rid of that attack. And of course, I mean, okay, that's that's nice, but today you also have to have the portal. Everything has to be accountable. You have to be able to offer the front page for the end customers, that they actually see what happens in the network and how your system works. So they have also the portal interface for that you can manage. So all this is actually aiming to protect. Okay, it can be your infrastructure, it can protect your services, performance, or actually the endpoints. So these individual handsets or well, today it can be anything basically. So that's of course the goal. So why we actually start to work with the Arbor, or well, I don't know the politics behind this, but or it can be that Arbor start to work with us. I don't know that, but we see that the partnership, it can actually bring a lot of goodies. Just compared just to that we are offering the individual products. So this is the relationship. So we can resell the Arbor stuff, but also this Arbor technology is nowadays integrated to our SR product family. I don't know how much you actually know about the Alcatel-Lucent as a company and what comes to the IP/MPLS stuff. Those who were in our SR experts probably know that in Europe on the PE markets, we are now number 1 in Europe. So we are, I would say, they are quite significant player in that area. So there is a lot of Alcatel-Lucent boxes out there. So what we have actually done together, and what are the reasoning behind this, is that the market start to be, let's say, ready for this. This securing and using Arbor products, it used to be a quite niche. But now, because everything is going web, you have web portals where you can buy the sneakers, etc. You have to have ways to protect against all security threats and attacks. So it's coming more commodity. Also together, we get this Arbor system more distributed and more easier way. And this is natural because we have this. Have to think about how many routers there were around the world already, but let's put it this way: it's a big number anyway. So there are a lot of boxes out there which can be actually enabled to use this Arbor technology. And of course, when you get the integrated solution, it comes to with the operational simplification. So you don't have to have any more the standalone box, what you put out there and do the cabling and all that hassle. You have actually integrated module with the operating system, what you can just put it in the SROS. So it comes with the simplified operations as well. Those of you who are familiar with the Alcatel-Lucent technology, you know that we have had these 4 areas where we're actually using this multi-service ISA card. The 5th and the new application for that is now this TMS, threat management system module, or it's actually software. The hardware is still the same, this multi-service ISA card. So for this, the Arbor has developed the coding and done all the intelligence what actually happens on the TMS systems. We have provided the hardware, so we get this integrated solution. And what it basically means on our notes that to enable this Arbor TMS, it says that we plug it in our SROS, in an SR, which is running still the same SROS. So it doesn't really mean that you have to, if this service router is your PE in the network. It can still be a PE in your network and running the same SROS. You just plug it in a card which does the DMS function. There are some figures how much traffic this one multi-service ISA can handle, and I would say that it's quite significant. So it's one plane up to a 5 gig, or we guarantee 5 gig. It's up to a 10 gig, but we guarantee this 5 gig traffic per card. And because you can put many of these cards in the boxes, so in one system can actually clean up to a 60 gigabits of traffic. So it's starting to be a quite high number. And as says, it's the 1 MDA slot, so half of the system. So how it actually works? So from the previous slide, you remember that I saw that this Arbor solution is based on or divided into 3 sections. So first you detect the attack, and that you are using by flow. Getting the flow information from your network, at which you put this collector. This collector actually signals now the service router where we have this TMS system inside. And now there is the intelligence in this integrated in this SROS, so that the traffic, let's say the bad traffic, is now diverted automatically to this multi-service ISA card, which is then trying to do what it should do, to clean the traffic and mitigate the threat or the DOS attack. And finally, when that is done, we pass the traffic back to the data plane and put it back to the final destination. This is the internal how it actually works. Okay, this is the pretty much the same stuff with the other words. Okay, I add this one because on top of that it cleans the traffic, but there's also this portal stuff. So everything or every action what is actually done in this TMS card is counted. So you will get the very detailed reports of what has been done, how many prefixes are affected, what would be the application attack details, etc., etc. So everything is there. Everything is in logs. So about the use cases, how ISPs are actually leveraging this technology. So they can start selling value-added services, and things like clean internet service is one of them. So we are talking about like clean pipes, etc., etc. And of course, there must be a reason why customer is actually willing to pay about this. And of course, the advance for them is of course that my website is up and running, so the users can actually buy those sneakers from our website. So it keeps their business going. Well, I said about the operation. It simplifies also the ISP operation by offering this integrated solution. But it also takes the, let's say, the enterprise customer responsibility away. So you can outsource that functionality to the ISP, so that the enterprise customer doesn't have to keep on staff actually to handle this thing. This is, I would say, the famous pyramid sign, which is used in many cases, but basically the point in this slide is that there always can be let's say, the better system. But our understanding that the better system is the next one, which is actually using the CP devices, which is integrated with the TMS function. Most likely, it can offer even better scalability and even better the functionality, but it's going to cost a hell of a lot more. So coming backwards a bit to build a bit more centralized system would make the equation work. So it's cheaper, but it can still offer, let's say, the good level of securing the what is meant to be secure. So therefore, our solution is actually landing on this quite high in top of the pyramid, but not really on the eye stick on the pyramid. So it offers the quite good and cost-effective solution. This is reputation. So there are many kind of applications. Like I said, that it's not only to protect from security threats from the internet, but it goes also the other way around. I mean, every time there is an attack, there's also people who are trying to chase that who is actually causing that attack. So every case, you will see some news that this attack it came from various places on the internet, but you can see that it was originated from this operator's network, or it was originated from this operator. So this game is also working that way, that you're actually using this kind of system to protect your reputation, saying that my ISP network is actually so secure that we prevent attacks originating from our infrastructure. Mobile network is one of the, let's say, the fastest growing areas on this as well. So we are going to LTE, flat IP stuff. Everybody knows that. So, but what it also means that it opens up let's say the infrastructure for attacks. Also the end device, let's say the bandwidth is growing. So like we heard about that we are the bad people. We have this internet-enabled PDAs and laptops and all that stuff. I mean, if you get like million of handsets, you can create quite significant number of traffic from the mobile network. So we have to start thinking about the mobile network as bad as the internet as well. So this mobile environment protection is getting more important all the time. Some technical details, just a quick one, how we see that it works and how we actually divert traffic back to, let's say, this original path. So this is quite familiar, I would say. So we have places where we have our SR with the TMS plates inserted. We use the router capability to collect the flow information and put that flow information in this collector box over here. And this collector box does what it does, or what Arbor does best. So they are really good of detecting the attacks. And after the attack is recognized, this Arbor box will actually distribute the let's say the affected prefixes, etc., to the routers, so that they start diverting the traffic to the TMS system. So the traffic ends up here. Internally, this SR router diverts the traffic to the TMS plate, and TMS plate does what I showed a couple slides back. But then it actually comes to the question that how you actually put that traffic back to the original data plane or the original destination, because if your ISP network says that all the traffic to this destination is diverted here, how you get it back to the original plane? There are a couple of ways. one of the ways is the like we call it clean VRF. So we are actually using VRF to put the traffic back to the destination PE. So we get it close to the where the prefix is originating, and when we finally get to the PE where the prefix is originating, we put it back to a global routing table. So this is actually the solution where the routing table is in a global table. And of course the okay, I actually going to hide that slide, but there's the solution if you have your global routing table inside the VRF. So basically the flexibility what this integration does is that you have the your operator network, which is the using these 7750 SR routers. It gives you the flexibility to actually design your security architecture in a very flexible way. You can basically put these TMS plates in a place which is the best for you and your traffic patterns, I would say. So one of the places where we see this happening is actually the peering router. So all the traffic which is coming in from your or from the internet, you have the TMS plates on, let's say, on the data point to actually doing all the cleaning stuff. Or you can push it further in your ISP network. So it's flexible. Apparently I messed up the order of the slides, but okay, this is pretty much the same than the slides before, but it's case where you have the internet in a VRF. So, as said, together with the Arbor, we get a lot of more, let's say, the appealing solution for the vendors. So, what it comes for or what it gives to the Arbor is, of course, there are a lot of the SRs out there where they can apply the technology just by plugging in the car. And of course, it gives us the better position for for example, for the peering router market, which is quite well, let's say, followed area. At who is doing the peering and who is providing the peering router. That's definitely one of the areas where we want to adapt. And conclusions. Basically saying that together we are much stronger than individuals. Did I manage to keep my timelines? Or even going under?
No, unfortunately not. Any questions?
Have there any mechanism to change from Arbor flow router automatic?
Yes, BGP.
Yes, there is flow router.
Yes, yes. That's how the collector box actually sends the flow information to the routers.
Yes, because flow router is a nice mechanism that you can see. You don't need to put all traffic through.
Yes, yeah, it's a flow specs.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Easy one. Next one.
So you're going to be here all evening?
Yes.
That was my easy question.
Luckily, the hotel is nearby, so we can carry it.
Well, you can. Oh, do you have a question? No. So you can have all evening to ask even more questions. So let's give a round of applause for our sponsor.